Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Can you believe it? Season 3 is finally here. So today we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes. Not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be an hour today with some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside as we kick off season 3, our Color Me James season. So my name is Wendy, and I have been playing with makeup for a very long time. And so it is my privilege to share with you and get you excited and get you inside of season 3. So there are some exciting and some fun things headed your way. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab your makeup palette, your brushes, some lashes, and head on back for our easy makeup tutorial today. How can I create a soft, rosy glow that's going to be perfect for someone over 40? So are you ready? Check out this new intro video. A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. All right. I found those little star things and I was like, oh yes, I need that glitter and that sparkle in my life. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about it, but let's just go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be doing for season 3. So season 3, we are going to be jumping into Color Me James. That's now available in 3 different ways on my website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. You can do perfect binding. You can do spiral binding. If you're a techie person, get after that ebook. So the ebook is in full color, all except for the coloring pages. So you can see it in its full glory. It is beautiful in my opinion. All right. So that is what we got going on for that. So today, this week, well, actually first let's start out with, oh, I don't actually have it on here. Okay, so we're going to start out with James 1:1, and that's what we're going to be doing this week. So we are going to have that. Oh, well, let me start out with it up here. Do I have it on there? No. Okay, so let me get it scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. So James 1:1. I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello! That is James 1:1. So that is what we are going to be working on this week. So you're going to start out in your book. You are going to begin page 19. That's this one right here. And that is going to be your guide throughout the week. Every different block is going to guide you through the day. To kick off every day, there'll be a little short video from me to kind of get you going, especially as we start to get into and used to the habit of practicing with our verse. And that practicing or those activities are what are going to help you to remember that verse. And so just a reminder that all of the products that are going to be used in today's live are going to be on the website. So let's say that, you know, you love an eyeshadow, which that palette that's right there, right there. That's what we're going to be using today. And that is the Juvia's Place, the Blushed Rose palette. So that can be, played down for a more neutral, natural look. That can be spunked up. We're going to be about in the middle of that today. So today you're going to need a light, a medium, and a couple of darks. They don't need to be like dark, just a little bit darker. We want some contrast between the light and that dark so we get that glam look. Glam appropriate for the over 40, 50 audience. Okay, so appropriate. That's kind of a bad word because, you know, if you like it, sparkle. If you don't sparkle. Up to you, totally. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to jump in with a full face makeup tutorial while we are going through the book of James. So let me get my chat turned on because I see there's a whole bunch of you in here today. So I'm not, with all the things I got going on, I am not even going to try to have the YouTube thing running separate. But after this week, when I get a little more adjusted to all these things happening at one time, we'll be definitely using some of the fun things that are coming on YouTube. So we've got some special stickers. We've got some extra chat icons. There's all kind of fun. There's badges. It is going to be so fun. So for today, we're not going to do that because we're just kind of introducing that. So we're going to go over a little background of the book of James while we're doing our primer. So kind of, well, first off, we're going to be using the Urban Decay. This is the Urban Decay. This is the all-nighter primer. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the book of James while we're doing that. So we're just going to use one pump of that. So kind of a background history of the book of James as we dive into that. James was actually, well, there's a couple of people that they think it is believed that wrote the book of James. I am going to be working with popular opinion, and that is that it was James, the half-brother of Jesus. When you look at Matthew 13:55, it talks about that. He was a leader of the church in Jerusalem, according to Acts 15:13. And so I just think when you look at all the different pieces, it's most logical that it was James, the half-brother of Jesus. So we're just going to run with that. It was most likely written somewhere between like 80, 44, 49, something before 60 for sure, for it to have been James. So this actually makes this one of the earliest New Testament books. So just kind of a little tidbit for you next time you're playing Bible trivia with someone. The audience is that it was written to Jewish Christians that were scattered throughout the Roman Empire. That's why he greets them saying, greetings to the 12 tribes scattered among the nations. And then what is James about? So what you're going to be diving into with the book of James, it is really just a practical guide to Christian living, to actually living out your genuine faith. This is It Cosmetics by Under Eye. I am the shade 11, light nude. So let me get the little string of that. There we go. It is emphasizing faith into action. So your actions, wisdom, and then your perseverance in the Christian life. So that is kind of an overview of what the book of James is about. Feel free to dive into, reading it for yourself. I would encourage you also to read the whole thing this week. Just from a top level, high level reading, just so you can get a lay of the land before you actually dive into doing chapter 1 this week. I think that'll be helpful to kind of see it in context. So what we're going to be doing in James 1, we are going to, obviously we have, now I got the hiccups. What is this? James is greeting in the first verse, which is where we are today. So the whole week this week, because we're kicking off a chapter, I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place, the JP 102. So because we only have one verse today, because it's the kickoff of the chapter, we're actually going to be spending a vast majority of our time just kind of looking at context. Who was it to? What was happening in history? And then specifically looking at verse 1. So I know there's not a whole lot of meat in there, but it matters because what he's saying and who he was talking to makes it relevant to you or not, and helps you to understand kind of what his thought was and why God was delivering those specific words to him. I am using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. This is the Maricao number 710. If you want to test these out before buying, I don't find that online the colors, I've tried several different websites color matching or shade matching. I don't feel like they do very well online, so I would encourage you to get to your nearest Ulta to try this out. You can actually test the product live. So we're going to use that is way too much. There we go. We're going to suck some of that back in there. There we go. A little bit of this is going to go a long way. We're just going to dab that all over the whole face. There we go. If you have not already ordered your copy of James yet, it does take a minute for, I think probably Amazon is the fastest shipping for it. But for you to be able to do all the Bible study and the coloring page and the puzzles and all that, you will need a copy of it. But in the meantime, the least expensive version of Color Me James is going to be the ebook, and that's delivered instantaneously. Well, as soon as I connect the two things this afternoon. But that one's delivered instantaneously. That way you would have it with you at any time. You can save the images to your phone and use them like flashcards. What else is exciting in there? And that, because it's the whole thing in ebook format, that will allow you to be able to go ahead and get started. Then when you get your book, you can just transfer what you've already written. So kind of a fun thing with that, if you're going to use the coloring feature in the ebook, you're going to need an app like Procreate. And I believe in the email that delivers you the book, there is links to all of this. But you're going to need an app like Procreate that'll actually let you color into an image or a PDF. And then to actually write into the journaling part of this as you go throughout the week, you're going to need an app like, I think it's called Goodreads, and that'll actually let you write and journal into that PDF document. We are going to be setting that with the Professional from Benefit Cosmetics. If you have very pale skin, this is probably not going to be such a great product for you because it does have a little bit of tint to it. So it's like on the edge of being able to work for me. So if you have fairer skin than I do, maybe not such a fun thing. Okay, so we're going to take that JP 101 tapered powder brush and we're just going to tap it in. It's going to get on there, but then you're going to tap it off back into the container. And we're going to start out by setting around our eyes first. And I don't know what the scent is on this, but it is just heavenly. I love the smell of this setting powder. And I know that has no bearing on the performance of the setting powder. But you know, if you're going to have a smell anyways, you might as well have a good smell. All right. We're going to set that. Okay. Remind me not to talk while I'm setting my makeup. Okay, so we're going to set that going down the center of the face first. Then we're going to set the side. Other side. Okay, so like I was saying, you're going to need something like Goodreads to actually be able to edit into it. Or your other choice would be you could print it out. But I think it would come out cheaper for you to just order a copy of the book rather than go to the effort of printing out. Number one, by the time you factor in paper and printer ink and all of that, I think you would end up behind. So that's just my personal opinion. Okay, so I didn't ask you yet. I've got so many extra people on here today, which is so exciting. So go ahead and tell me, where are you coming from today? I recognize some of you already, so that's fun. Love repeat people. And let me give you a shout out on here. We are going to, now that we all have an even playing field, we're going to add some contouring. So shadows and highlights where we want them. We're going to be using the KVD. This is the Shade and Light Refillable Contour Palette. And we're going to be living in like 3 different spots here today. So we're going to be using these 2 here, but then we're going to use just a tidge of that one right there. Just on the outside corner, just to kind of give a little punch. So we're going to start out with this dual-ended foundation brush from IT Cosmetics. This end is the bronzer. This end is a highlighter. So the flat end of that, just give it a couple swipes in there. Going to go from the top of the ear and kind of curve that around to the corner of the nose, but not going past the color part of your eye here. So we're just going to give a little curve. We're going to stay up above the hollow of that cheek and then up the temple there. Ooh, y'all being quiet today. Either that or my chat's not working. It's one or the other. Okay, staying with the flat side, we're going to get just a little bit. And we're going to run that right along that hairline up here. And that's just going to give us a little bit of definition. Kind of, especially if you have a tall forehead, it's going to kind of make that not seem like such a vast space. Now we're going to switch to the side of that. That's going to go under the jawline. We're going to keep a neutral face. We're going to go from under the ear to about the corner of the mouth. We keep a neutral face so that you can actually get up underneath that jawline. And that's just going to accentuate that so that it looks like we have, you know, more beautiful neck and jawline than we actually do. Sticking with the small of that brush, we're going to go from the eye, running right down the side of that nose, and then just a little under the tip. So side of the nose, under the tip. Just going to narrow that nose ever so slightly. Okay, I promise we're going to dip in that outside shade. So we're going to be in this one right here. You're just going to go tap, tap, like literally just a little tiny bit. We're just going to go on that outside right there and up here. Just a little tiny, kind of an L. And with whatever you have left on there, just go ahead and get that up there. We're just adding a little tiny emphasis on the corner there. Now we're going to switch to our highlighter right in here, kind of on the side of it a little bit. Top of the cheek, right beside the eye socket. Same thing here, going down the center. And then you can blend that out just a little bit. Okay, so now we've got some color where we want it, or shading where we want it. We're going to set that brush aside. Well, possibly. And we're going to grab our all over blush brush, if I can get it here. There we go. This is a MAC, like 113 or 118 or something like that. This is the Juvia's Place Blush Volume 4. Today, because we've got a rosy glow look happening, I'm going to use the darker pink of this, but just a little bit. I just don't want to wash out. We need to push in a little bit color, but not be overwhelming. So we're going to take that blush brush, and you're just going to tap it like twice. These are very pigmented, so you don't need to get like a whole lot on there. Okay, so between the highlighter and the blush, right there, bring it up, blend it out. Do that again. It looks like I didn't quite tap enough on that one. There we go. We're only at one tap. I'm going to go up here along that hairline. And whatever you have left on there, go ahead and tap a little on the tip and a little on the chin. We're not really giving color there. We're just kind of, you know, making everything a happy family. There we go. Okay, so as we, talking about the book of James again, as we step into future weeks and we look at chapter 1, kind of the end of it, we're going to be looking at trials that can come. We're going to look at faith. We're going to look at wisdom. And so we'll be hanging out in that kind of territory, asking for wisdom. There's joy in trials, rich versus poor in God's eyes, temptation and godliness, all kinds of, you know, fun stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our lips now. And I am going to be using, this is a Juvia's Place Luxe Liner in Scorpio. And this is just kind of a nice, sort of a wine color. I just like, these blend out really, really nice, but they wear super well. So we're going to start out with this in our Cupid's bow. And it does kind of match my hair color just a little tiny bit. So we're going to be writing just on the outside of our lip line to gain as much real estate as we can without looking like we're coloring outside lines. There we go. So we're going to take it from where we've got the Cupid's bow ending, and then we're going to round it out to that outside corner. There we go. It's a harsh line right now, but hang with me. We'll fix it. And now we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. All right. I'm going to catch that center, just kind of give us a point of reference here. And like I said, just below, just outside of that lip line. And now we're going to round that up to the outside corner. Nice. Now I want to give a little bit of ombre to the outside corners, not so much to the lip here. So we're going to take the liner and we're going to color about a third of the way in on the outside corner. Just make sure on the top and bottom, they end in about the same place. This is another thing I love about this because it's a retractable. You don't have to sharpen it. Okay, so now we're just looking crazy, but hang in there, hang in there. So we've got about a third. Well, it's not quite a third. It's like a quarter and a quarter. And so we've got about a half right there in the middle. But now we've got a lot of harsh lines. So I want you to take your middle finger and we're just going to blend right there. Just ever so slightly. There you go. So we're just going to soften the edge of that a little bit. The more of that will also happen as we add our lipstick here in just a second, and then you'll see how it all miraculously goes together. So for right now, you're just looking like crazy. Okay, so I'm going to be using the MAC. This is the Maximal Matte Lipstick, and this is Snob. You can see just a nice kind of pink, a little bright, but not too much. We've got a lot of wine going on here, and it's all going to balance out. So I'm going to take that, and actually I used it yesterday, so let me wipe the tip of that off so I get a nice just tip color there. So we're going to take that, and we're going to start out in the center. I'm going to do the top and bottom in the center first. And let that pink really take hold. Now we're going to work to the outside edge. Make sure you got nice, clean lines on the outside. And now you can really see that ombre as it goes out to the outside. So you got just a little bit of kind of definition and fun happening on your lips there. You could add a little bit of glitter to the center if you want to. Today, I'm not going to do that, but that is an option that would just make this super fun. Okay, so let us go ahead and say our verse together. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes, scattered to kingdom come. Hello. And that is James 1:1. I don't know why I just love, when they add an explanation point in the Bible, I think it's just kind of weird to say it like, hello, because it's an exclamation point, which is how I just said that. So make sure that you are emphasizing that word. He is giving them a greeting. Those little things, those little inflections, those little intonations are part of what's going to help you memorize that verse. So make sure that you speak it. Pretend that you are James saying that, and that will help you a little bit in getting it memorized. So what are we doing? We are playing with the Blushed Rose palette from Juvia's Place. And let me get there we go. Okay, so here's where we're going to be today. Today we're going to be, these don't have shade names, so I'm just going to show you which ones. So we're going to start out here for just a little bit, and then we're going to work our way over here for just a little bit, and then we're going to live in these two for a second, and then we'll be using this one as our dark. So that's where we're going to be kind of hanging out today. So we are going to start out with a Morphe M433, and that is going to go in this one right here. You really just need this kind of on the tip, and this is just going to be our shadow color up here on the brow bone. So kind of a non-color color, just something to blend into. So we're just going to get that right up there on the very top. And blend that out. There we go. So we talked a little bit about what we're going to be experiencing in James 1. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to have in James 2 while I try to find my next brush. There we go. Okay, so in James 2, we're going to be looking, well, really the end of 1 and then almost all the way through 2. We're going to be looking at true faith and how it shows itself in actions. I am using a Morphe M456, and we're going to be in this color right here. You definitely want to keep this brush out because we're going to come back to this one. So we're just going to swirl that tip there, and that's going to go from the inside corner. We're going to go all the way up to that first color we put on, and we're going to go about 3/4 of the way across. Get that nice rose gold in there, kind of a little peachy to it. And you can see that shimmery goodness. And again, we're just getting that up there into that first color. And then about 3/4 of the way across. And remember, keep this brush out. You're definitely going to need this one. Okay, nice. Now we're going to grab this is a smudger. This is a Morphe M321. And this one, we're going to start out, we'll come back to it, but we're going to start out with a little kind of a foundation of this color here. So we're just going to swirl the tip of that. And that is going to go right on that socket bone. So right where you can feel that bone, you're just going to ride on that right there. Now we're going to be blending this out and all that, so don't even worry about it. Then we're going to come in to about halfway. And then just kind of fill in that corner a little bit so you actually end up with a little bit of kind of a C shape right there. And just leave it looking crazy. We'll fix that in a minute. And now let's do that same thing on the other side. And then again, you're still just staying on that tip. And then we're going to come into about halfway. And then we're going to fill in that outside just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to set that brush aside, but we're going to come back to it, so don't let it get too far from you. We're going to grab a little bit of a smudger. This one's a little looser. This one is the Morphe M431. And we're going to go into this color right here. And this one you're going to kind of get on the side a little bit, kind of the tip and the side. And that's going to go right here, right between those two colors that you just did. We're going to use that to blend out and soften the edge of that darker one. And then go ahead and do that. Same thing on the other side. Get a little more color on there if you need to. And we're only going to leave a little bit of space between the brow and the colors that we're using. So I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go in this one right here. Same thing, just on the side there. And now between that color you just put and the lighter color you had to start with, go ahead and put that on the top of that as the gap between those two colors. Okay, I'm going to take the tip of this also, and I'm going to put it right here on the inside of that kind of C that we did. We're just going to give ourselves a little bit of pink here. Any fallout, make sure to take your fluffy brush. Just dust that away. We're going to come back with that second brush we used, which was the 456, back in here. And just kind of touch that up a little bit. Make sure you didn't have anything mess with that beautiful light color. And we want to make sure that we've got a nice crisp line there. We're not actually doing a cut crease, but it's kind of a mock cut crease. So I am going to be using, this is a Morphe M213. Except I just dropped it, so just a moment. That always happens at least once. Okay, so back to the M213. We're going to take that and we're going to get the tip of it right there on that darker color. And we're just going to follow that right here. Give a little crispness to that color. There you go. Same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it from the outside corner here, just to make sure we've got a nice weight on that. There we go. So you can see we've got you can see where that crease is there. It's not actually a cut crease because we didn't cut into it, but it's what I would call a mock cut crease. Okay, so now we've got the top part. The lid is just about where we want it. So let's go ahead and play with some eyeliner, and then we'll do the underside of that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Killer Liner. This is from Too Faced. This is just a great black liner. We're going to do the liner before we do the under part, just because we want to kind of smudge and blend into it a little bit on the bottom. So we're going to go from the outside corner, and we're going to go just a little past halfway. We're just giving some weight to that outside corner. There we go. Now you can see, man, that makes my eyes look so blue. So we've got, weight on the outside, kind of a theme going here. Weight on the outside, weight on the outside. So now we're going to go from the outside corner about halfway, right on that lash line. And I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil, and on that waterline, just that outside third, I'm going to go ahead and give that a little bit of color on that waterline too. You can see how different that makes that from the two sides. Let's just give that extra little bit of emphasis right here. There we go. So now that we got a little something to play with down there, we're going to grab that M213, which we were just using. We're going to go in that dark color right here, just right on that tip. And now let's blend into that line we just had. We're going to go just a little bit past it. And we're just going to soften that line. Oh, sounds like my music just went a little crazy. There it goes. Okay, I don't know what that was. I'm going to use that same. We're going to go here into that nice rose gold. And let's get that on the inside. So we're just going to meet those two together. And then I'm going to take this lighter one here, and I'm going to put that right on the inside corner. Just because it's a little bit lighter, it'll sort of illuminate that area a little bit and just open it up. Now, while we're on that, we're going to grab the very first brush we used, which is the M433. We're going to just tap that a little bit in that lighter color we started with, and let's just run that on that brow and make sure that we're blended up nice and pretty up there. And you can kind of come down here on the inside a little bit, just to make sure that you've got some nice blending happening there. Wow, that is coming out super pretty. I am really liking that. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of liner on the top of that lid there. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. Actually, I got a little bit of fallout here, so let's just dust that away. There we go. So now back to the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. We're going to go from the outside corner all the way to the inside corner. We're just going to give us a little bit of a forgiveness line for those lashes. So outside corner all the way to the inside corner. Just a nice thin line right on your lash line. You can see how that just gives some definition to your eye there. And also when you put your lashes on, it's going to give you a little bit of forgiveness if you don't quite get it nestled up next to your regular lash. Okay, so all the way from the inside corner. Thin line. There we go, right on that lash line. Okay, so, oh my goodness, that really came out so pretty. Now I'm feeling like I need sparkle on my lip, but I didn't bring it over here. Okay, so you can always add on. So now you're going to do your brows. So whatever your brow product of choice is, you're going to go ahead and grab that. And then let's talk for just a brief moment about what's going to come at you in James chapter 3. So in James chapter 3, we're going to be talking about controlling the tongue and wisdom. So we're going to talk about the power of words. We're going to talk about heavenly wisdom versus earthly wisdom, true wisdom, humble, pure. What else we got? Peace loving. Yeah. So it's, like I said, it's just kind of it is a handbook for how to live out your faith. So now to your brows. Whatever brow product you have, you're going to use that here. For me, I got some like kind of pink stuff happening, some wine cherry sort of thing. So I'm going to be using the Bad Gal Bang in Wild Plum. And that it's actually a mascara. So, if you want plum eyelashes, you can do that. But this is going to be my brow product. So I am just going to give a light here. Let me get my hair out of there. There we go. I'm just going to give a light covering on the brows there. Let those have some color. Let those get set. Whatever you're using, make sure that you've got a nice brow shape for that. So you can head over to the brow bar at Ulta and let them take care of it, help you pick the brow product for the desired look you want, and then show you how to use it as well. Okay, so again, we're going to do that same thing on the other side. This also looks really pretty if you do like a colored mascara on your lashes and then put a black lash on. It just looks kind of cool because you've got that like two-tone effect thing going on. My favorite is to do that with blue. I haven't actually done that in a while. Maybe we'll do that next week. So when you're using mascara on your brows, you are trying to make sure that you don't touch your skin. So you're really hovering above your skin. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it's just a great way to get color in there. I've tried lip liners and eyeliners. I actually had I think it was a NYX lip liner that I used, and it works great. The only problem with that is because the pencil is smushier. I don't know if that's a word. Anyways, more smushy. It has a tendency to look kind of like you went with your brows. And I kind of like a little more airy, light, natural looking kind of thing going on. So there's that. Okay, so now we've got our brows going on. Hopefully you've got your brows set. Everything is good to go up there. So now we're going to fix our eyes. So I know I've been using a heated lash curler. Today I'm going to step back a little bit. We're just going to use, what are these? These are the Tweezer Man, Great Grip, Onyx Curler, something. Okay, so we're gonna use this one. So when you use a lash curler like this, you want to make sure that you're pulled out just a little bit from your lash. You don't want to feel any pinching. So we're just gonna set it and get it ready where we want it. We're going to make sure that we've got it pulled out. So give it kind of a test, squish before you actually crimp down. We're going to say our verse together as our timer for the lash. Because we're wearing false lashes, we don't really need to worry too much about the curling today. So we're just going to get ourselves ready. We're going to say that verse. Maybe we'll say it twice together. Okay, here we go. So you kind of crimped it a couple of times, and now we're going to crimp it down. We're going to say the verse together twice. Here we go. I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello! That's James 1:1. One more time. I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello! James 1:1. Okay, go ahead and curl the other side. No, actually, let's mascara it and then we'll do the other side because I might start talking and then our curl would fall. So we're going to grab that Bad Gal Bang mascara and we're just going to give a single nice light coat on the lashes. Because we're going to be adding the false lashes on, we don't need too much, but we do need our lashes to blend, and then the volume never hurts from giving yourself a little bit of mascara on there. Still going to make sure you sweep back on the tips. And you're going from root to tip with that mascara. Using the tip to catch the outside corner. There we go. So now we're going to curl the other eye and then we'll put the mascara on that. So here we go. Give you a little test crimp. Make sure you're not pinching your lid. And we're going to kind of pause for a sec. Wait till the verse rolls around and then we will say it together. Okay, here we go. You ready? I, James, a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. What is it? Hello! I just forgot my favorite word. James 1:1. Okay, one more time. I, James, a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello! James 1:1. Okay. Okay, so now, again, on this side, we're just going to give a light coat of mascara. You're going to go from root to tip. We're going to sweep back on those tips so that everything is nice and coated. We're getting as much volume as possible. And then we're using the tip of that to catch the outside corner of those lashes. And that will be enough for when we are putting our false lashes on. So in James chapter 4, we're going to be talking about kind of some warnings toward worldliness. We're going to talk about quarreling and selfish desires. We're going to talk about humility before God. We're going to talk about boasting about the future. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. Trusting in God's plan. Like I said, this is all very, very practical information. So now we're going to coat our bottom lashes. These aren't getting false lashes, so make sure you do this one like normal. Okay, so let me see if I can do this with all the things I got going on here. There we go. Root to tip. Sweeping back on the underneath. Underneath? I'm not sure that's a word. But anyways, there you go. And you're just going to give a nice normal lash application here. Nothing's changing on the bottom lashes. So we want to make sure, you don't want like goopy, overly voluminous bottom lashes, but you do want them to be nice, show up, and then to balance out what you're doing on the top. Man, I'm so in love with that eyeshadow today. Okay, back to what we're doing. Okay, bottom lashes on the other side. And again, root to tip, you're sweeping up on the underside there. You can use the tip of that to really get in the corner on those little tiny lashes over there. Okay. And maybe my hair was in the way. I don't know. There we go. So I do see that right here, I have like a little black fleck. So I'm going to use that little bullet to flick away whatever that fleck was. Okay, so now we've got our mascara on. We get to put on some lashes. So I'm using I think this is in the medium volume. This is the Juvia's Place. This is the Zaria. This is a flare lash. So on the inside of the lash, you can see that the lash is smaller, narrow, and then as it comes to the outside edge of the lash, it widens up. I just love the way that makes your eyes look and gives you a nice draw to the outside. Makes your eyes appear a little bit bigger than they actually are. And so if you have a little bit smaller eye like I do, then that is a good thing. I'm going to grab my velour lash tool, and I'm just going to grab that lash from the outside edge and pull those off the tray. I'm going to set them in front of me as I'll be putting, in the order that they're going to be going, so it's easier to remember what goes where. Now with the flare lash, it's a little bit easier to tell because you've got the narrow part that goes on the inside. These I'm going to be holding from the outside edge. If these are new lashes, no matter what brand or kind you're using, you're going to do like a test dry fit. Just put it on there, just sort of set it there and see if the lash is like longer and wider than your eye. You want it a little bit shorter than what the width of your eye is. If it's too long, it's going to poke on both ends and drive you crazy, and then you're going to walk around saying you hate lashes. If you do have to trim it, as most people do, you're going to take that lash right there in the center and you're going to trim it from the outside corner. So for a flared lash, it's going to be the wider part. And you're going to use a nice scissor like these by Velour that are made with a nice sharp tip to be able to nip and clean cut the end. Also, sometimes on the inside corner, you'll see there's a little bit of nub that's left from manufacturing. And so just make sure you nip off that little bit of nub so that it doesn't annoy you all day long either. I'm actually trying out a new adhesive today. So I've got the Duo Active. This is made to go with the active lashes like the ones I used last week. I think they were called Gains. So this actually has a brush on it, on the tip. But we're going to use that just because I wanted to see how this compares. So we're going to take the brush and it's going to go right on the top of the band. And we're going to get it right on the edge there. And then we're going to turn that band in and we're going to get it on the back side of that band. We just want to make sure we got nice, good coverage. So when we put these bad boys on, they are going to stay and not go anywhere. So I'm paying special attention to the outside corner because we want to make sure that we got those anchored down so that they stay really well. So I'm going to set that one down in front of me carefully so that I don't get all the glue off on my surface. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. So we're going to go right here on the top edge. And again, I'm just kind of using the side of that brush to blend that out. And then on the back side of that lash band, I'm just going to use a little bit on there. And then we're going to make sure we catch those outside corners just so that they don't go anywhere. Okay, so when you first put the adhesive on, this is a clear. I evidently am allergic to latex on my eyes, and almost all black adhesive is going to have latex in it. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but it is. So I like the clear adhesive for that reason. Also, why do you need latex? Anyways, so that is going to be, we're going to let that set for just a second. It's going to start to get a little bit clear. And then you'll know that that is ready for you. We're going to grab the lash right there in the middle. And I'm just going to kind of fan that for a second, let it get a little more clear. And then I'll know that it is ready to go. It's better to be just a little bit tacky when you go putting that on. Oh, another thing is if these lashes are new for you, you're going to grab the outside edge and you're going to roll that lash. You're going to let that lash band break just a little bit so that it will shape easier to your eye. Okay, so holding the lash in the center, we're going to put it right in the middle and set it down right on top of that liquid eyeliner that we put on there. And then we're going to go to the inside and set that down. And then we're going to go to the outside and set that down. We're going to take the tool and we're going to make sure our lash and that lash are in the same space together just by kind of mushing them together. I'm going to take the tip, and on the inside we're just going to work our lashes into that lash. Make sure everybody is a happy family up there so that we don't have any annoying pinching, crimping, anything crazy while we're wearing these over the course of the day. Wow, that is such a difference between the two sides. Now, like I said, these are, I can't remember if these are the low volume or if these are the medium volume, but you can see it's not like crazy. I don't look like I got a caterpillar living up there. It just gives a little bit something and really draws the attention into the eyes. And wow, look how blue my eyes look today. Okay, I should have used this palette more frequently. Okay, so we're going to grab that lash on the other side. We're going to hold that right there in that center, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to set it in the center. Okay, evidently my tool has something on it. There we go. We're going to grab the inside corner of that, set that on that liner. On the outside corner. Well, it was already on the liner, so that's nice. And then we're going to turn it sideways, and we're just going to make sure those are together in the same space, living harmoniously. And I don't think this one was dried quite as much as the other one. So let me go ahead and wipe this tip off. The inside corner of this one's going to be a little ornery on me today. There we go. We're going to take the tip now and work our lashes into those lashes. There we go. And I see my lashes are kind of turned a little bit, so let me get those back over. There we go. That will have to do with the wearability of these. I don't like to mess with my lashes all day long. I just want to put them on in the morning and then not think about them for the rest of the day. Okay, so remember I told you just a second ago that if you experience pinching, your lashes are probably too long. So I want to show you a little tip about how I check if it's that, or if it is that like my adhesive is coming loose. If you take your tool and tip that lash down just a little bit, you can see right there on that inside corner whether or not that lash is still stuck down. And if you notice, see, like right there, it's not stuck down. So if you notice that it is not stuck where it should be, you can fix this right now while everything's all tacky and able to be played with. Once it dries down, you're going to have to use a little bit of adhesive coming in from the top side to get that fixed. So just a little bit of something that will help you be able to wear that all day long. Okay, so see how that looks? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I am seriously in love with this today. Okay, so I am going to grab, well, wherever I set it down, there it is. I'm going to grab, this is an Anastasia, this is an A23, this is just a little highlighter brush. And we're going to use the Heroin Glow 2 from Juvia's Place. It's just a nice rose gold highlighter. That's this one here. You're just going to swoosh that all around. We're going to get that on the top of the cheek here and then right beside that eye socket. This has a nice glow to it, yet not overly glowy because I don't want like a dewy, wet looking thing. And then I'm going to go just down the center here. I'm going to blend that out just a little bit. Man, the lips are beautiful. The eyes, man, I'm in loving that shadow going on. So let's talk about this next section of our book in the book of James. So then we're going to be talking about a warning to the rich, and the power of patience. So we're going to talk about wealth and judgment as we enter chapter 5. We're going to talk about patience and suffering, being steadfast like the prophets and like Job were. And then finally, for the last part of it, we're going to be talking about the power of prayer and restoring others. So in James 5:13-20, We're going to be talking about how to and why to pray in all circumstances. We're going to be talking about restoring wandering believers. So again, some key themes. Well, we'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's just go ahead and finish what we got. So now we've got some color in our eyes. We've got some beautiful false lashes. We've got some ombre looking happening on our lips. And now we want it to stay all day long. So we're going to grab our Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. Give it a little bit of a shake. And the smell of that. Okay, what is it? The powder smells good. The setting spray smells good. Then we're just going to fan that down for just a second. And now you are all good to go for the rest of the day. So if I can get my cursor to cooperate with me, there we go. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. It has been a delight to hang out with you this morning on the launch of Season 3, Color Me James. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. So we're going to review a couple verses and then I'm going to share something exciting with you. Okay, so I did not do this at the top, so we're going to do this now. So our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And then we're going to take a look at our verse from last week. Last week we were looking at Romans 8:28. And we know that those who have been called, for those who love God and are called according to his hold on, I'm getting things out of order. Slow down, breathe. Here we go, Wendy. Romans 8:28. And we know that those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. All right, there we go. And now our verse for this week. You can see her in all her full glory. This is part of your coloring page for this week's verse that we're doing, James 1:1. And James 1:1 is, I, James, am a slave of God and the Master Jesus, writing to the 12 tribes scattered to kingdom come. Hello! So that's what she originally looked like, but you can make her to look like whatever you want to in your coloring sheet this week. So enjoy that. I think that's on it's Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4. Day 4. So that's what you'll be working on there. I'm going to go ahead and turn that. There we go. So just a reminder that everything's going to be coming from Color Me James, and that's what we're going to be working on. Again, 3 formats. There's the regular traditional perfect binding, there is a spiral binding, and then there is the ebook. So get the one that's going to suit you and your learning as best as you can. And so I wanted to, do I have it on here? I don't think I do. So this is a little bit of the book. And so the page that I was talking to you about, that if it'll let me switch pages, will it? Well, theoretically, it lets us switch pages, but for whatever reason, it is not letting us switch right now. Okay, so I think it's page 19. This is where, here, let me go back to here so we can actually see that together. This is page 19. This is where you are going to be for most of the week. This is going to be your guide, kind of what, gets you through. So each one of these represents a different day. It kind of times out a couple of things for you. This is going to be whatever you want it to be. The more time you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. The less time you put into it, the less you're going to get out of it. Like anything in life that you do. So let me go ahead and turn Color Me James off there. There we go. Okay. So, again, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. You can find that on your favorite podcast platform. Now, I told you I was going to share with you something fun. So just to help get the most out of the book of James, we're going to do something fun on YouTube. So on YouTube, there are 3 different beauty and grace insider levels that you can join. So there is the Divine Beauty. That's like the first tier. That enables you to get a whole bunch of perks. You can see them on the bottom of the screen there. And then also you'll have some exclusive access to me. And then we've got the next one is the Precious Jewel. And then the last one is going to be Cherished Queen. Cherished Queen actually comes with the ebook as a gift with that membership level. So if you're interested in the ebook, Just do Cherish Queen, and then you get that with that. So that's going to be super exciting. That's all going to come with extra pages, extra images, extra different tutorials and helps as we work through Color Me James. So before we get out of here, I just want to speak a blessing over you. So, nope. There we go. So, our blessing is going to be Numbers 6, 24 through 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how awesome it is to work a full year together, to be able to come to this place, to be able to work through the book of James. Father, thank you so much for giving me the words and the images and the technology and all the tools to be able to put this together. I just pray that you would bless each of us as we work through this book together, that you would help us to learn, to grow in our spiritual life, to grow to become more like Jesus, and to grow in relationship with you and with each other. I pray that as we memorize these verses, as we hide these words in our heart, that you would bless us, that you would help us to remember them and to recall them at times when we need them, and at times when we need to speak that into life, into others. Father, I just pray that you would be with this week, whether we're here live or we're watching this later on. Father, oh my goodness, how excited I am and how thankful I am to be used by you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, so it has been such a delight to hang out with you here today. I look forward to seeing you on social media as we go throughout this week. And I know that it is just going to be marvelous as we kick off this season 3 together. So I look forward to seeing you online. Have a marvelous rest of your week. I love you. God bless. Oh, check out this outro video. This is new too.